Implemented in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps provided thousands of young men with jobs. After the Dust Bowl, the American government was determined to never repeat a tragedy like that again. In light of this, the CCC was created. Young men from the ages of 18 to 25 were able to replant lines of trees, fight forest fires, and build reservoirs. By the end of 1942, over 200 million trees had been planted in lines referred to as the Shelter Belt. That stretched from Texas to North Dakota. Over 3 million men were given work and 80,000 Native American men. The men earned $30 a month and $25 was sent to their families. The CCC also provided men with homes on site and teachers to help them read and write. The Native Americans working reclaimed the land that had already previously belonged to their families. Although this program was optional, men wanted to be a part of it and signed up willingly. Happy faces and full trays of food were seen every day despite the hard labor the men participated in. A regular trial in the CCC was around 6 to 12 months, but some men stayed until they were told they were too old to participate. Others lied about their age and were granted admittance despite this. Both families and the American government were in desperate need of help and were eager to participate.
My name is Lawrence Herolds, and in 1935, I turned 18 and was put to work with the Civilian Conservation Corps, where I worked to put out forest fires and help with replanting trees after the fires had torn through them. Days were long and hard, but the work was rewarding. It felt good to know that I was helping my family put money in the bank and put food on the table. I was happy to be working in nature too, and staying active was great. The teachers the CCC gave us were nice and taught me how to read and write for free. My work there ended in 1942 when I left due to its end.
I'm Joseph Trotsky. I was part of the CCC back in '36. I remember it just like it was yesterday, my 18th birthday. I became eligible to join the CCC. My family had been waiting for this day. I remember my mom crying as I was packing my bags, but excited to receive the payment every month. I signed up to plant trees, but instead I got assigned to build reservoirs. I recall being so upset because I was a Nebraska boy at heart. But of course I accepted, because what else was I going to do? It's not like I had much choice. So that's what I did until 42 when they made me leave. But by that point I didn't want to go because I actually began to enjoy it at the end. I thought I would never enjoy it, especially at the beginning. The days were grueling and hard. We worked for 10 hours at a time digging holes. All day, just digging. And by hand, too. On occasion, the foreman would bring in some of the big front loaders and drills to move out some of the bigger rocks. And those days were the best. But by the end, that work had become my life, and I was quite sad when I had to leave. Although it was a rough time, I made good friends with the other men in the CCC.
My name is Robert Garrison. I'm actually kind of delighted to be here today and share my story. I'm from North Carolina, and I served in the Civilian Conservation Corps from its inception in 1933 to its very end in 1942. You know, I guess you could say that I was a lifer. I remember waking up every single day, stepping out of that small, dirty cabin, and joining my rest of my crew for work. My supervisor, or boss as you would call him nowadays, would always tell us before the workday to not take any breaks or do any slacking. Although it was optional, our days were run very similar to a military base. We had less strict rules than that, but oftentimes we were up right at the crack of dawn and working all day. No breaks, like I said. Our crew's job was to build roads. Seems very simple, right? In fact, it was the complete opposite. One time, I was walking away from my station while wiping some sweat from my brow. I didn't see where I was walking, and bam! My leg got caught in a pile of mushy concrete. It was stuck and I couldn't even remove it. I started to get worried, and eventually, I felt the concrete become even more solidified. My crew quickly rushed over to me and used some pickaxes to help me remove my leg. I watched on in horror, yet some relief when I saw I was able to move my leg again. Although the CCC granted me a job opportunity, it did not grant me the fulfilling life that I'd hoped for.